Thanks for joining. As you can see, I have a very special guest. You do not have to listen to me talk this whole webinar, which is awesome. So I do have the marketing master, the brand master, Zach Messler here. So he's going to be super entertaining. He's going to drop a lot of knowledge on you. And, I'm just going to let him take over because he's amazing. And he's going
No
to speak for
pressure.
himself. No pressure.
No pressure. All right. Hi, everybody. And thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Gabriella. Thanks to RingLogix for having me here. This is super fun. So we're gonna go through some things, and we're gonna talk a lot about messaging today, right? About how to break through the IT noise. Now, when you think about MSPs, everybody kind of sounds the same. This is just, hopefully these aren't any of yours. Maybe they are, I don't know, but everybody kind of sounds the same. It's your trusted provider. It's IT services designed for your business, streamline your business, all this stuff. But it all sounds the same. It all sounds the same. So how do you break free? I'm glad you're here because that's what we're going to talk about today. So embracing one idea in all of this makes the big difference. Just one idea. So before we get there, hi, thanks for the intro, Jamie. I'm Zach Messler. I spent 20 years in product marketing for enterprise tech. It's product marketing is a marketing discipline where you're connecting product with audience through capabilities and channels. Those capabilities are positioning. How do we show up in the minds of our buyers? It's messaging. What do we say in support of that? It's a little copy, writing. How do we say that sort of thing? It's diving into the mind of the audience. Now, I said product marketing, but don't get confused. Product is just whatever it is that we sell. A product can be a product. It can be a service. It can even be an idea. So I've worked with a bunch of companies, a couple MSPs. I work closely with Gabriella and Albert at RingLogix, and I've worked with a ton of different tech companies throughout the years. So here's why we're all here today. We want to attract more buyers. We want to sell more stuff. It's much harder to attract more buyers when you sound exactly the same as everybody else. So what you're going to get today, you're going to get a new perspective on what to say and how to say it. I'm going to share a strategic way to look how people buy that's rooted in science. And I'm going to give you an approach and tactics, don't worry, for messaging that just works. And this is stuff, again, I've been using I've built it over 20 years. So what else? So the details of this, there was a promise made to you when you got this invitation, and it was these things. So you will get today the super simple way to spot a weak message. So you can look at your website, you can look at some of your materials and say, maybe we should reword this. A 30-second copy flip that's going to make your homepage more compelling to your buying audience. That's who matters. The people who we want to buy are the opinions that matter, and we're going to dive a little into that. We're going to talk a little about the virtual head nod. You'll understand what I mean by that shortly. And it's a technique that helps you get that in their brain. Oh my gosh, holy crap. This company, these guys, they get it. They get it. There's a 5-minute exercise that uncovers what your prospects actually care about. And I'm going to share that with you. It's something that doesn't take too long to do. And then finally, the ridiculously simple way to test a message before you use it. That's important too, because you don't want to just take something, spend all this money, pop something up on the website, change your website, build out like all the trinkets for the trade show, pay for the banners and all this, and you haven't tested it and you're not exactly sure it's going to resonate. So there's a ridiculously simple way to make sure that happens. So, okay, dude, we get it. What's the idea? No one gives a crap about your IT services. No one cares. They don't care until they do. And when they do, they want to hear all about them. So this gets us into that strategic approach I hinted at. So this is in product marketing known as the buyer journey. Don't get hung up on this. If you did a search on Google or talk to ChatGPT, whatever, and asked about the buyer journey, you'll find stuff that kind of looks like this. And now I have to hide my self view. So hold on. Boop, boop, boop. All right, thanks. Bear with me. I can't look at myself during these things. So, oh, and I see, Jamie, you spelled my name wrong. It's Z-A-C-H. That's really important because that's my website, zachmessler.com. So anyway, this is the path to purchase. The path to
Here, you spelled
purchase.
your name wrong. Where's it
I
at?
don't know. I see talking Zach, Z-A-C-K Messler.
Oh, I think that's on your Zoom, dear. I'm not sure. That's
There's
on your
no
Zoom
way.
name.
No
Yeah,
way.
you
No,
spelled your name wrong, sir.
I
Must have
definitely
been that.
did not.
Must have been that whiskey.
I'm blaming, yeah, maybe. I'm blaming Gabriella.
Okay,
Whatever.
good.
All right. So this is, it's fixed. Yeah, Jason,
There
thanks,
you
man.
go.
Thanks, man. Hey, I am trying to monitor the chat. If people have questions, you're
I'm
not
checking
gonna.
it out for you,
All right,
Zach.
cool.
I'll
You're
I'll
not
make
gonna
sure I
throw me
hit you up.
off, Jamie. So if people have questions, they can interrupt. That's totally
Okay,
fine.
sounds
So
good.
this is the buyer journey. The thing I want you to take from this is right down here. Why change and why us? Really, why change are messages that prepare them to hear all about us. Remember, no one gives a crap about your IT services until they do. So that beginning message has to be something that's rooted in and tied to what's the change that we're delivering. So we're going to dive a little deeper into this, but just remember why change and why us. Before anyone's ready to hear from you about you, we have to focus on that problem. When you see unaware here and aware of opportunity, this is unaware of a problem. I'm unaware that I have a problem, or sometimes it's even I'm unaware that I have a problem that's as big as it may actually be. Aware of opportunity is I'm aware of the opportunity to change. So this is really important. So the thing to take from all of this is it's not always about you. It's not always about you. When we have an audience that's ready to buy, then yeah, we can be all about us because they want to hear all about us. But before that, they're not ready for it. It's not about you. This is all about perspective. So you think about this. I'm not a surfer. When I was growing up, I always wished I was a surfer. I had a boogie board, but I had all these surfing stickers on my car. I hung out with all the surfer and skater guys at school that had this big like wave of hair and everything. But if I were learning how to surf, and let's say you're teaching Jamie, you're teaching me how to surf. And Jamie, if you're out like 20 yards out and the waves are killer, and I don't like to swim outside of a swimming pool, and I'm a little scared or a little nervous about the waves, and you're like, Zach, come on in, these waves are tasty. Yeah, no, I'm standing at the shore. So perspective is about me looking at the world through your audience's eyes, through your buyer's eyes. And then for you, it's meeting them where they are. So if they're ready to talk all about the amazing services that you deliver, fantastic. Let's talk about all those amazing services. If they're not ready to talk about those amazing services, we have to find ways to talk about them without talking about them. So that could be talking about the problem you address. It could be talking about the circumstances, the things that happen when you have that problem, when your buyers have that problem. It could be, excuse me, it could be talking about the emotion, the feeling that they have, the warning signs that they might have a problem. All right. So why this is? Why this is? So way back in, when was it? 2006. The iPhone came out. This isn't an iPhone. I'm a Samsung guy. But the iPhone came back, and when that came out, and when that happened, everyone became turned inward. Everyone became turned inward. I now have everything I need right here. I don't need you as a salesperson to tell me all about your company. I can find out. It's all about me. So, for example, now you can see this everywhere. It's not going on vacation. It's not check out the beach where it's look at us at the beach. It's not, a picture of my dog. We were talking about dogs before. It's, hey, look at my dog. Look at us. We're so cool. This is actually my daughter when she landed in London for a semester last year with her new best friend, some British girl. And look at us, we're in London. Oh my gosh. So it's not about you, it's about them. So I promised you how to spot a weak message. It's if you start with we. You don't want to start with yourself. At some point, you want to be talking about your services. That's not at the start. That's not the headline to your website. Maybe in a subhead you talk about your services, but when you start with we or our services or we're let me go back. I want to go back to that one slide. Let's go up here. Oh, nobody started with we, but they're all kind of started with we, right? What is it? It's IT solutions. This is what we're selling. It's managed IT services provider. This is what we are. This is IT support services. It's what we do. So that initial message, we want to make it about them. So there's nuance to this, and I get that. So we'll talk a little about that, but this gets us to this 30-second messaging tactic. I call it flip the message. So it's not about you, it's about them. It's not about what you do, it's about the results that they get. What are the outcomes that your clients get, your customers get from working with you? You can go mine if you have any reviews, and any MSP worth its salt, worth its weight in whatever, you have reviews. I'm sure you have reviews. Look at your reviews. What are the things that come up? What are the words that come up again and again and again? Let's focus on those. Another idea, right? An example of flipping the message. I'm going to use RingLogix. What's this about? Build your business, not theirs. Stop settling for small commissions. Work with RingLogix and achieve up to 70% margins for your MSP. That's about you, the MSP. Build your business, not their business. Don't settle for small commissions. Hey, work with RingLogix, and this is what you can achieve. So here's another example. This is in the tech world, not the MSP world or the channel, but this is a company called CoreCare. So CoreCare, before flipping the message, they called themselves the easiest way for healthcare providers to regain control of their data, which is true. But we changed that. We changed that to stop fighting, start getting paid, because what CoreCare does is they help healthcare providers get paid, get reimbursed. I mean, the American healthcare system's a shit show, but that's another conversation for another time. CoreCare works with healthcare providers, so in long-term care facilities, so they get paid more quickly. So and the way we landed on stop fighting, start getting paid was by talking to the audience, talking to buyers. And everyone said the same thing. This is what I mean when I say messages will bubble up. I feel like I'm in a prize fight just to get the money we deserve. I feel like I'm always fighting to get paid for the services that we render. Stop fighting, start getting paid. That's flip the message. So take a quick break. I'm looking at the chat real quick. All right, cool. So a quick messaging history lesson. And this is why I think everybody still starts with our company. Way back when, you could go to market with it was time tested, it was proven approach of feature benefit. Here's the feature, here's the thing that we do, and here's the benefit of doing it, the benefit of going with us. Feature benefit, feature benefit, feature benefit. Along came a smart marketer, I don't know who he was, and he's like, wait a second, people don't care so much about the feature, they care about the benefit of that feature. And it became benefit driven by feature, benefit, feature, benefit, feature. Fast forward again, another smart marketer came along, I don't know who she was, she's like, wait a second, the benefit is still about us. People buy something to address a problem. So it became problem solution, problem solution, problem solution. This is where much of the market is today. You hear it often, like, sell the problem that you solve, not the solution that you sell, problem solution. But there's a problem with that approach. And that problem is, if you shine a light on the problem too brightly, you're fear mongering. And then people are just like, you're trying to sell me something. They can taste they call it, in the sales world, they call it commission breath, right? They can taste the sale. Just want the sale. So there's a new way to do this, and it's context problem solution. So context, all that context means, so context matters most. Context is the most important thing, but all that context means is that perspective. It's speaking about things with the perspective of our audience. That's it. And when you do that, you get that virtual head nod. I'm trying to think of, well, like, going back here, if we go back to I'll use RingLogix as an example. Build your business, not theirs. So for RingLogix, the focus with RingLogix are lots of MSPs are your resellers. You're reselling other people's services. And when you do that, what happens? You get a commission, and that's it. And they own the relationship with the customer. But with RingLogix, with RingOS, you don't. You own the relationship. You have bigger margins. You own the relationship. This is virtual head nod stuff because we're talking to you, right? You're getting smaller commissions than you have to. You work with RingLogix, you can get up to 70% margins. Oh, that sounds interesting. There's context there. That's how you get that virtual head nod. When I say virtual head nod, what I mean is, I can't see any of you right now, so I have no idea if you're nodding your head or not. But if you're with me, if we were in a room, in a hall or something, and I'm speaking, and I look out in the audience and I see people giving that head nod, I know you're with me. We can't see that online. We can't see that through an email. We can't see that on a webinar. But I want to get that virtual head nod, and I do that again by taking on the perspective of my audience. Okay, let's see what is next.
You got a virtual head nod via text, Zach, so
there we go.
You're good.
Here's how to get that virtual head nod. That's funny. All right, so here's how to get it. So what I want you to do, you don't have to do it right now, but consider your last 3 clients, the last 3 that signed on with you. Write down, put it in a spreadsheet, whatever. Write down, and not just your last 3. If you make this a regular thing, over time, you start to get into the mind of your buyer. When you get into the mind of your buyer, you understand how they're thinking. You understand the words that they're using. Then you can take those words and use them in your message. When you do that, that is gold. It's one of the greatest tricks in copywriting, right? It's you pull in the words of your audience and you throw them back at them. It works. It works so well. And that's when you get, holy crap, these guys get it. Oh my gosh. You might get, I know I've sent stuff out on I send stuff out on an email list. You can sign up at zachmessler.com, Z-A-C-H. I send stuff out on an email list. And sometimes I'll get, oh my gosh, Zach, it's like you're in my head. That's virtual head nod. That's taking on the perspective of your buyers. All right, excuse me. My nose all week has been a wreck. That's kind of gross. All right. This is what we want to write down. We want to write down, what's the exact moment they realized they needed your help? Not when they found you. What were the circumstances when they realized they needed your help? And if you don't know, ask them. Ask them. What are the actual words that they use when they're describing this, when they're telling stories, when you're having these conversations? How were these problems that they were facing affecting their business? So let's say they had a breach. Okay, that's pretty bad. We know what the problems are, but what are the words they're using to describe what it was like to deal with that breach? Or they have help desk issues. What are the actual words they're using to describe those problems and describe that pain that they feel. That's what I want to capture. Another one, and this is awesome. I do this. You should do this. Anyone who sells anything in B2B should do this. Right after someone signs, before they have started working with you, ask them one question. What was it that made you decide to go with us? But I'd use the name of your company. So what was it that made you decide to go with RingLogix? What was it that made you decide to go with Proper Sky? What was it that made you decide to go with ABC Company? And then be quiet. There's something I didn't put a slide down for it, but a book that I highly recommend, which will help with conversations like this. It's Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. So it's a book on negotiation, but this is a messaging book and an audience research book. I mean, it's a really, really simple book to, it's easy. It's an easy read. It's not a simple book. Excuse me, you could read it in probably an afternoon or two, but it is such an awesome read. And it'll help you in conversations like this and give you some more tactics. Like my favorite one is, sounds like there's a story there when someone says something. And then you just shut up and you just quiet. People like to talk if you give them the chance. All right. So what this is all about, what all of those things, what this is all about, it's uncovering more about our audience. It's uncovering more about their circumstances, their exact circumstances. Why do people buy from us? That's what we're trying to uncover. We're also getting into their headspace. We want to get to the emotion of all this, to the feelings, right? So and the feelings might be good, they might be bad. They might be joyful or powerful, peaceful, but they might be scared. They're scared about something that's going to happen or did happen. They're angry that something happened. They're sad that their business is in trouble because they're ashamed because they fell prey to some scam or something, and now I feel stupid. But it's identifying the real feeling, and the reason why the emotion is so important. This is not touchy-feely stuff. See ya, Fernando. This is not touchy-feely stuff. It's rooted in brain science. So I am not a neuroscientist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an expert in this stuff. But if you do a little bit of research, you can understand how people buy, how people make decisions. And so the way that anyone makes a decision, that's you, that's me, that's everybody. There are three parts of the brain that are involved. The first one is the lizard brain. This is gut reaction. It's fight or flight, right? Is this a friendly? Is this a foe? The second part of the brain is the limbic brain. This is emotion, memories. It can be arousal. Do I like this? Do I hate this? Do I love this? Now, where is it? I lost there it is. What this dotted line represents is the capacity for language. This is just gut feel. This is not words going through your head. When you first started listening to me, you were either like, wow, this guy, I love this guy, has tons of energy, or, oh, this guy's a little much for me. That's just how it goes. But it's a gut feel. The last part of the brain to engage is the rational brain. This is the facts. This is where everybody likes to think decisions start. It's the pros and cons list. This rational brain is why talking all about us is important when we get to the why us. But the key to remember with the rational brain is that emotion is always remembered. You think about that first impression that you have of someone or something. Once you have that first impression, your brain, you're trying to validate that first impression. And when you validate that and it becomes a belief, it's really hard to shake you off that belief. So that rational brain is absolutely influenced by emotion, by the feeling of what happens before. So I'm going to pause here and see if we have any questions, because this is like big stuff. I'm also flying through this.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So this is from John.
Yeah, I see it.
Uh,
What do you do if
yeah.
you use their words and effectively let me and effectively describe their pain and still they reject the offer based on price? Okay, so a couple things. The first one is you're not going to want to hear it. It could be a couple things. One, the price could be too high, but it also could be that you're seen as a commodity, and so they're comparing commodities. They compare on price, and so we're not presenting the value the way as well as we could. If someone is balking on price, like for example, I do a workshop, I do a messaging workshop where we get to the essence of what you sell and we connect it with audience. The result of it is a narrative and crystal clear messages across product, across problem, audience, lots of content ideas, tons of stuff comes out of this. I price it in a way that I believe is really low based on the value and what you get. If somebody says to me, wow, that's really expensive, and they start saying to me, whoa, it's a 5 hour workshop and you're charging this, how much per hour? I pay my attorney that much. That means that I haven't demonstrated the value well enough. That's what that means. That's funny. The lizard. What if some of your prospects only have a lizard brain? That's really fun. But this is exactly why, John, exactly why differentiating on message, on what we say and how we say it can be such a game. I hate to use this, it's so used by AI these days, but such a game changer. You know, a great example of differentiating on message right now. I worked with a company called Continuous Networks, Ross Brous. And if you go to continuous.net, now I'm not a fan of their headline on their website personally, but what we did is we went to market tied around this idea of tacos. So what do? They serve up tasty tacos. And we did a product mapping exercise where we took all of their services and we mapped them, all their capabilities, and we mapped them to ingredients in a taco. And we tested that at a trade show. We're going to talk about testing a little later. We tested it at a trade show. Trade shows are the ultimate place. I'm getting ahead of myself, but trade shows are the ultimate place for testing a message because people, if it sucks, people are going to forget. It's not on your site forever. They're just going to forget. But if you hit it there, and you know because people, the conversations are longer, or you have a bazillion people in your booth, or you leave with 200 leads and there are only 300 people at the conference. Right. So we tested it there, and then they went all in with this message around tacos, nacho average IT company. They're differentiating on message. Continuous doesn't sell anything different from any of you. They absolutely do not, but they're differentiating on message. So that to me, now, John, I don't know your company and I don't know your site. And, we can dive into that. I have a bonus at the end of this for anyone who's on, but we can dive into that if you want, and I can give you more prescriptive and personalized advice. But my guess is that the way that you are positioning your offerings and talking about the value isn't good enough for you to command that price. That would be my guess. All right. Product messaging. So again, product could be a service, product can be an idea. So we want product messaging that gets the wow. There are a couple different ways to do or a couple different kinds of messaging, right? A few different kinds. There's the brand message, not your average IT company. That's a brand message. There's a sales message. That's the problem solution type stuff. And there's a product message. A product message is mapping value to the product. What is this? What is this service? What is this capability? Why do I care about this? Yeah, right. that is not an old picture. No, I don't have blue eyes. My hair was never that brown, though. That's pretty funny, Joe. So here's a formula for it. The hint is it's all about the results. We want to lead with outcomes. We want to lead with the result. It's the benefit, in the words of our customer, driven by that product or feature or that capability. So what they get from your service, thanks to or with or as a result of this thing, that what it does. So I want to do live examples. Can we do live examples, Jamie?
What do you want to do? Do you want to let people talk, Zach?
Yeah, I want to let people talk. I just want to
Heck yeah. Gabriella, you wanna help me? Should we unmute everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Oh,
You want to?
you want to put a comment, like to see if anybody wants to volunteer?
Oh yeah. Anybody want to volunteer to talk and we'll unmute you? I'll start picking on people if I don't get volunteers.
I mean, I can do it. I can do it with oh, it's Joe. Joe and John, let's
volunteered.
go.
Let's go. Let me find them in here. As long as I get a cookie. We'll give you virtual cookies. Did you find Gabriella, you got them, or let me trying to find here. Oh, duh, I have a search bar.
Yeah, no, I was like, I see it now.
There's Joe, and then John said yeah too. John Gibson, right? All right. You guys are free. Into the wild.
Low-fat virtual cookies. That's
Let
funny.
It's always low fat.
be beat
We
me.
take the fat out of everything at RingLogix, Joe.
That's on your website though, so it can't be true yet.
All right. So is this Joe?
You
Yes.
got Joe. I unmuted
All right.
John, but he's still being a shy violet. So,
Nope.
All right, cool.
I said something.
oh, did you? Okay,
Oh,
good.
there he is. All right. So one of you to start. Think of a service that you provide. Why don't you share something that you do, a service that you provide? Let's start with that. I'm going to write this down too.
You can turn your videos on too. Zach will be able to see you if you wanted to.
I don't think we have the ability to turn our video on.
Nope.
It's
Oh no.
That's
Option.
okay.
Never know.
Okay.
That's
All
okay.
right, I'll go.
I see the names, so that's good.
Okay.
So now I know who's talking.
all right. We provide I mean, I'll tell you what it is. Do you want me to say it the way I would present it?
You say it any way you want.
Okay. Well, we provide a live answer 24/7, 365 days a year support desk, and average resolution time is 12 minutes on 92% of all of our issues that come in to our support desk.
Okay, so here's my question, and we're going to go back here. What do they get from that average resolution in 12 minutes? What's the outcome? So problems resolved is the outcome, right?
Yes, fast.
Right? Fast. So that message would be get your problems addressed fast, thanks to live answer 24/7, 365 support with an average resolution time of 12 minutes across 92% of all cases. We're
Okay.
leading with the outcome. Get things fixed fast. That's really what they get from your service. So this is what it is. It's not hard. It's a simple, often it's just a simple fix, but lead with that outcome. Why do I care? That's the thing to answer. Why do I care? Because yes, okay, because what you said is we offer live answer 24/7, 365. I have it written down right here, which I'm looking here. 365 support desk with an average resolution time of 12 minutes on 92% of cases. Okay, why do I care about that? We want to be explicit with the why do I care up front. Get things fixed fast. You got it?
Yes, awesome. Thank you.
So, and you can do that with any service that you have, any service that you offer. Lead with that outcome. What do I get? I'm the buyer. Put on that hat, take on that perspective. Why do I care? Why does this matter to me? I don't care that there's average resolution of 12 minutes on 92%. You might understand what that means. I might even understand what that means, but I want you, not I, your buyer, but I, Zach, want you to lead with why do they care? Because if you lead with why do they care, they don't have to connect the dots. And then what you're doing is, here's why you care. This is so important. And then you back it up with, this is why this happens. Because of live answer 24/7, 365 support that gets you resolutions in under 12 minutes on 92% of the cases. All right, Joe, you're next.
Oh, I messed up my speakers. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you great.
I can't hear myself. Wait, can you say something now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I screw my speakers. Yeah, so I provide virtual business phone services to independent agents, allowing them to take their cell phone and turn it into a tool for their business while keeping their personal life separate.
Flip that. There's flip the message. Take that back part, pop it up top. Say it again, but pop that back part up top. Turn
Keep
your
your
phone
personal and business, keep your personal and business life separate with our virtual business phone solution.
That's
Like that?
closer. That's closer. I like the turn your phone into, you said something like that.
I mean, part of it's making make your phone, turn your phone into more than just a phone, learn more about your customers and how you interact with them.
And
With our
what's the
platform.
outcome if they learn more about their customers and how they interact? Make your phone your bitch. Good one, Joe. That's
Yes.
funny. That's awesome. If you
That
had,
is awesome.
here's the other thing too, right? Not everybody has the guts to do what Continuous did. When you have the guts to really stand out, to do outrageous stuff, then I mean that's another way to stand out. Comparing your IT company to tacos is just totally out there. I'm not suggesting any of you do that. That's their thing. But what's like, make your phone your bitch? I mean, if you were the IT company that, you were plain spoken and you don't give a crap what people think or whatever, right? Maybe that's your shtick. When you're selling stuff that lots of different people sell, the same, and MSPs, everybody pretty much, you have your own flavor, but everyone pretty much sells the same thing. And so how can you differentiate? Sometimes it's just having the guts to do something completely different and completely out there. And this is just a hit. I'm not suggesting you say, make your phone your bitch, but that is a message that, look, I can guarantee you nothing with messaging. No one can. And anyone who says they can is lying. But make your phone your bitch will get you attention. And then it's up to you to back that up. What do you mean by make your phone your bitch? Now, but exactly. Eyeballs. Exactly. All right. Joe, you good? Do you get this? Do you want to talk some more on this?
No, I get it. I'm good.
All right, cool. Cool. Here's another approach. And I noticed, Joe, and I don't mean to pick on you. I noticed, Joe, you said hour. So here's another angle to consider. Hopefully people here will like me still after this, but we'll see. So here's another angle. Are you a fan? Right? So I'm a huge fan of the Philadelphia Eagles. I brainwashed my son, but we love going to games. It's an absolute blast. I started singing the Eagles fight song to him when he was in a crib, and he's an infant, and I absolutely brainwashed him. But when you go to an Eagles game as an Eagles fan, first of all, you're not going to get beat up and you're not going to get beer thrown on you and all that stuff. But when you go to a game and insert your team or whatever you're a fan on here, when you go somewhere where you're in a group of people and you're all rooting for the same stuff, there's a lot of power in that. And this is the power of the collective. And so the challenge that I have for you, for Joe, who used our services, and for everyone here, is consider going down a path of this. What are we all fighting against? What are we all fighting against? When we make the we the collective we, not, and the hour, the collective hour. So not just my business, but your business and my business, our business. Your problem and my problem, I'm helping you, I am helping you fix this problem. Instead of that, it's we're all fighting against this. We're all fighting against our phones who are terrible. That's not the way to say it, but live answer, I'm going back to John's example. Live answer, I want to bring John back on if he's available. What's the problem, John, that live answer 24/7, 365 support desk with average resolution time of 12 minutes on 92%? What's the problem that solution is addressing?
Technical support type issues. In other words, they
Okay,
call
I got
something
you.
working.
I got you. So technical support issues just sap the whatever X out of any business. That's what we're fighting against. We're fighting against technical support issues. And when we frame it in a way of the we, the collective we, so we don't say you run your business, so we focus on IT so you can run your business. You're setting up an adversarial sale. Now this is like totally loose, and I get it. Some people roll their eyes at this. I did an experiment at my last corporate stop. Now this wasn't selling services, this was selling a technology platform. But I had two groups of salespeople. One group just did things the way that they always had. Our platform, we do this, we do that, you do this, you do that, you're facing this. The other one, as much as they could, used the collective we. And they talked about the problem that the customer was having in the words of their customer with a we. We're going to get through this. We're going to do this together. And what happened was the salespeople that focused on the collective we shrunk their sales cycles by 6 months. Now it was a 2-year sales cycle, a lot different than selling IT services. But they went from 24 months to 18 months. They were selling more stuff because they were selling stuff faster when they were doing the collective we. And that's the power of the collective we. So consider that. I'm not saying that that's something you must do, but just consider that. It takes practice, and it definitely takes some technique. But if you hone in on that collective and can ride on that wave of the collective we, it can be a benefit for your business. It can help you see more deals and help see deals close more quickly. All right, the last bit here. I promised you a way to test. So how do you test? The quick way to test any message before you start using it is talk to people. Just talk to them. Use the message. Ask people. And you don't have to, you can ask them flat out, hey, I'm thinking about saying this on my website. What do you think? Or, hey, I'm thinking about a new approach to conversations, talking about what we do and how we do it. But here's what it is. What do you think? Or, like I said, if your MSP is like most, you're going to events now and again, going to trade shows, going to conferences. Trade shows and conferences are the greatest place to test, the greatest place. It's the greatest place to really pay attention to what people are saying, to hone in on their words, on the words that they're using to describe the problems that they're having. And then it's also a great place to try new messages, even on the fly, because it is the worst thing that happens is nothing. The worst thing that happens, you bomb. Okay, they're not going to remember that you bomb, because a message that's not memorable, well, by definition, isn't remembered. So you can find out really quickly at a trade show. Now, I'm not suggesting you go to a show and just go off the cuff. You certainly can. But I do those exercises we talked about before. Here, let me pull it back up so we can see it. It's what's the moment they needed you, the actual words. Let me get to it. So I can talk to it with it on the screen. Did I pass it? I passed it.
I think you did. Yep.
I passed it. Making everybody dizzy.
Fast fingers.
Oh, that's so fun. All right. So the exact moment they realized your help, the actual words that they used to describe what's happening, how those problems affect their business. And hey, what is it that made you decide to go with XYZ MSP? When you use the stuff that you learned from these exercises, you come up with new things to say, new approaches. That's when you go to the show, you test it out, and you'll know if it works. You'll know if it works because the conversation goes well and you get a real lead out of it. Or if you pop it on a sign, you know it works because people stop. They stop because of your sign and they start talking to you. So I want to check them off. And then we can open it for questions for the last 10 minutes or so. I want to check all these off. The super simple way to spot a weak message. We. Stop wee-weeing. I had an uncle, my Uncle Leon. Uncle Leon built a sailboat. He lived on the Jersey Shore. He had a sailboat he used to sail on the bay, the Dinkelspiel. And he used to take us sailing. It's my great uncle. He took my brother and me sailing. And he'd always get on the wakes of the boats that went by, and we'd be like, wee, wee. And Uncle Leo was like, stop wee-weeing in my boat. So stop wee-weeing all over your clients. That's a super weak message. It's not to say that using we is bad. It's not, but it's bad up front. This leads us to the 30-second copy flip that makes your homepage more compelling. That's flip the message. Make it about your audience, not you. It is about you. When you make it about your audience, it is actually about you. You're calling out to them. You're showing them what you can do, leading with that outcome. That virtual head nod, that's context, that's perspective. That's taking on the perspective of your audience before you put something out to market. When you're thinking about how to talk about this stuff, put yourself in their shoes. It's hard to do. It takes practice, but it makes a massive, massive difference. As someone running an MSP, an owner of an MSP, you have a bias. You know your stuff is really great and you know too much. It's the curse of knowledge. They don't know what you know. Look at the world from their perspective and then message that way. We just talked about that 5-minute exercise to uncover what they really care about. What's the moment that they needed you? What are the actual words that they use? And what are the business effects? What are the effects on their business from the problems that they're facing? And then what was it that made you decide to go with XYZ MSP? And then finally, the ridiculously simple way to test a message before using it, talk to people. Have real conversations without trying to sell, without expecting anything in return, without expecting a particular answer. Just have an open mind and have a conversation and try these different messages out before you go whole hog and toss everything, toss all your money on a particular message and back it up with trade show messaging, booth messaging, and website and design, and test it first. So I do have an offer for everyone on this, which I may regret because I feel like there are a lot of people here. But if you'd like to speak with me one-on-one and dive into your specific messaging, I'm happy to do that. Just as a thanks for being on here. You're going to leave with a path to be more clear with your message and concrete steps on how to get there. The way to find this, it's a link is boomshakalaka.com. You can find all my stuff on LinkedIn with the hashtag boomshakalaka. I do spell it phonetically. I always have. That goes back to a kid. That's another story. But yeah, that's open right now. And I hope you sign up. It'll be fun.
Yeah. And gang, Zach, so graciously did this with us. And we are Zach Messler fans. We are his customer essentially. He helped us with our branding. So, this isn't something that we brought to you guys because we plucked Zach out. We used Zach's knowledge, advice, his boom shakalaka over here at RingLogix. So, we wanted to spread some of that to our partners. So I appreciate you so much, Zach.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you too. This was really fun. I love chatting with people, learning more about this. Oh, I'm looking at the chat now. I'm looking at what Joe said. Yeah, Joe. So Joe said, I did a test the other night, took a friend out, and we told him how he can have his work on his phone and that we do call recording. He said last weekend he missed a sale because he was not at the office and couldn't take the call because he couldn't record. There you go. Stop missing sales. I mean, that's holy crap. This is what I mean. It's right in front of you. The right words are right in front of you. Pull in the words of your audience, throw them right back at you. All right, cool.
Awesome. Yeah, and for everyone that was asking too, yes, we get the recording. Once it's completed, we send it out with the presentation from Zach. So you'll be able to, if you didn't get a screenshot or whatever, if you're on the road listening, you're gonna get Zach's presentation along with it. We also post it to our YouTube channel. So if you're not following us on YouTube, go follow us. So, but yay, any last minute questions from anybody? Or forever hold their peace. Everyone's thinking about their messaging, right? Awesome. Well, I think we'll tie it up. Thanks again, Zach. Really appreciate you.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thanks, everyone. I hope you
We'll talk
attract more buyers and sell more stuff.
Yeah, you too. And shameless plug, Zach does this. This is what he does.
This is what I do.
Go book time with him, hire him. Like Zach said, hey, do you care if Zach does this? He helps our, MSPs and other businesses do this. So reach out to Zach if you need some of that extra help. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Bye.